Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Subie YOU podcast. First off, I want to say happy Memorial Day, everybody. I hope everybody is enjoying today and maybe taking some time to listen to the podcast. But either way, I hope everybody is enjoying time with friends and family and doing something fun today. It's always nice when a holiday comes around and you can just kind of relax and take it easy. So I also hope everybody enjoys this episode. I am extremely grateful for my guest today. I have Lance Smith on the podcast. If you keep up with Subaru Motorsports USA on Instagram, you have seen him around the rally stages and the RallyCross courses. And if you've watched Subaru Launch Control, you know who this guy is from watching that as well. He's in many of the videos and you've seen him around at many of the race events. I have to give a huge shout out to Yuji. Thank you so much for getting me connected with Lance. It was really great having him on the podcast. And thank you, Lance, so much for taking the time to be on the Subie YOU podcast. This is a huge moment for me, a huge moment for the podcast, and I know a huge moment for the listeners. This was a really good episode. We got into a lot of really great conversation, and I let Lance know, and I'm not ashamed to admit it because as many of you know, I'm still very new to the Subaru community. So when I started this podcast and when I bought my car, I didn't know who Lance Smith was. I didn't know what Subaru Motorsports USA was. I knew very little, but it's been really, really cool for me to grow into this community and get to meet so many people, to really come into all of this with very fresh eyes and an open mind and an open heart, because it has been an incredible journey, and I am extremely thankful for all of you for opening up your podcast apps to listen to this podcast and give it a chance. Almost a year and a half ago when I first started it. So to have Lance on within a year and a half, that's really huge, Ed. But this podcast would not be where it is if all of you weren't listening. So I am extremely grateful to all of you for showing up every week, for listening to all the episodes, for sharing, and for all of my guests that I've had on and all of my guests that I am yet to have on, because there's still quite a list. There's a lot of people that I have on the list and people that I haven't even gotten in touch with yet. So I'm super excited to continue this and getting people from the community on this podcast and giving you a place to share your love of your Subaru and this community. So there's still so much more to come. So if you were like me in the beginning and you don't know who Lance Smith is, you are about to find out when we get into this episode, and it's really, really cool to hear all the stories from him. As many of you know, Subaru of America has a race team which goes by Subaru Motorsports USA, and that race team has cars that they race through rally stages and at RallyCross courses, but somebody has to build those cars, and it's Vermont SportsCar that builds those cars and maintains them while they're out on the stages or the courses. And Lance Smith is the founder of Vermont SportsCar. So in the rally and rallycross world, he's very well known and very well respected, and he has done a lot for motorsports in the US. So it was really cool to hear him talk about all of that. And for me, it's been really cool learning more about rally and rallycross, watching Subaru Launch Control, because that all ties in together with Lance Smith, Vermont SportsCar, Subaru Motorsports USA, Warwick Patterson, Christopher Bowes, Rian and Gelsomino, and Bucky Lassick. This all ties in together, and it was just such a great episode, and it was a lot of fun having Lance on. So again, thank you, huge thank you, Lance, for taking the time to do this. I really, really appreciate it. But we need to take care of a few other things before we get into the conversation. This episode is brought to you by Melee Design Firm. They are your battery and battery mount specialists. They also have these little battery starter kits that you can purchase that could come in very handy, like you heard on the previous episode. my issue with my battery dying from somehow switching on my ditch lights. They also have their engine bay caps, which can help spruce up your engine compartment. So go check out meleedesignfirm.com and see what they have available for your Subaru. Thank you so much, Melee Design Firm, for sponsoring the Subie and You podcast. This episode is also brought to you by SubaruGear.com. If you have not gone over to the Subaru Gear store yet to check it out, I highly recommend it. One of my favorite hats that I wear very often is from SubaruGear.com. I also have a Subaru shirt and a Subaru refillable water bottle. It's a Subaru Motorsports USA refillable water bottle. They have a lot of really great products, not just for you, but also for pets and for your home. So go check it out, see what all is on the website. Just go browse and explore and check out what all they have to offer and pick up something for yourself or for somebody else as a gift. You can always do that as well. And right now, it's a good time to get Subaru Motorsports USA branded merchandise because of all of the race events going on and more to come this year in this race season. When you go to check out, be sure to use the code Subie and You, all spelled out, to get free shipping on your order. Thank you so much, SubaruGear.com, for sponsoring the Subie and You podcast. It's great to have you here with us. As we are now getting into warmer weather, it's a great time to get out there and explore and be in the pursuit of adventure. So if you're in the market for some new wheels to take you out and explore, or a lift kit to give you that confidence and peace of mind when hitting the trails, check out Rika VS. Rika is committed to providing customers with the highest quality specialized wheels and lift kits that will allow you to travel further, experience new adventures, and discover extraordinary destinations. Rika wants to make sure that you are ready for anything wherever your adventure takes you. Rika's flow-form process creates both lightweight and durable wheels, which are of the highest quality and are built to satisfy the requirements of all of you adventure enthusiasts. Rika lift kits raise your Subaru to protect the vehicle's underbody from damage while off-roading. The lift kits were also designed to increase the vehicle ride height in order to accommodate larger tires while maintaining the factory ride quality and alignment. The quest for adventure begins with you, and Rika is what gets you there. Thank you so much, Rika VS, for sponsoring the Subie and You podcast. Be sure to use the code SubieU10 at checkout to get 10% off of your wheels or lift kit. Okay, everybody, now it is time to get into this awesome conversation with Lance Smith, Rally and RallyCross enthusiast, and just all around great guy. It's great having him on here. So let's go ahead and hear from Lance and get into this conversation. How's your day been?
Today's been pretty busy. We had a vintage car rally come through the shop, and there was probably, I don't know, 80 to 100 people there with a whole bunch of Ferraris and Porsches and Audis, and a very high-end collection of cars came through, and, people that are, retired and just cruising around America. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah,
Very good to see.
I saw the post on Instagram about an hour ago.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they tied me up for most of the day. So,
yeah.
It was good. It was all good.
That's good. Yeah, I'm sure you got to meet a lot of people.
I did.
Yeah. But yeah, well, thanks again. And I guess for everybody listening, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Lance Smith. I'm with Vermont SportsCar, and I am the team principal of Subaru Motorsports USA.
So how did all of that begin? Because, and I guess kind of, I look at it as, and I always thought maybe that Vermont Sports Car and Subaru Motorsports USA were two separate things, which I know, I guess, in a way they are, but you have kind of a partnership with Subaru Motorsports USA, and it kind of seems like they're one and the same in a way. Is that correct?
Uh, we do have a partnership with Subaru of America. Um, we started with working with Subaru in late 2000, I think. So we have a very long history of working together. So Vermont Sports Car is contracted to Subaru of America, and we used to have Subaru Rally Team USA, and then the name was changed to Subaru Motorsports USA because of our adventure into rallycross and some other things that we were doing. So they broadened the name. But yes, it's that's the team name. But Vermont Sports Car is its own business. But as far as motorsports go, we are exclusive to Subaru of America.
Okay.
So after 20 years, it's a pretty close relationship. We do a lot of things together.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember watching some of the earlier episodes of Subaru Launch Control and seeing Subaru Rally Team USA on their uniforms and on the cars. And then as I started getting into the later seasons and then having like Warwick Patterson on and Christopher Bowes, I saw that, it said Subaru Motorsports USA and then, of course, the Instagram page. And so I made the correlation and just like, oh, I guess they changed the name at some point, but I didn't know why. So thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, it was just an evolution. We were doing a number of different sports and hill climbs and video activities. We just broadened it a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to see that
Yeah.
expansion. So for you, how did you get interested in and involved in rallying to begin with?
Uh, when I was a young man, just getting my license, which this I'm gonna date myself. Not 1977, I think. Um, Getting ready to get my license, and of course, as a young kid, you go around and you visit dealerships and car places, and you just start getting into cars. 16 years old, 17 years old,
Yeah.
and I went to a Toyota dealership in town, and I took a brochure from them, and then in the back of the brochure there was a picture of a car on a one-lane road in the snow that was off the ground, and it was Toyota talking about their Corolla at the time, and then here's a Canadian rally car up in the air, and I was just shocked me when I saw the photo. I was like, "What is that?" You know,
Yeah.
and I found out, oh, that's a rally car. And just did some research, and then it turned out that America's leading rally driver was in our hometown, and eventually I got to meet John Buffum, and I worked at a shop. We actually got to work on some of his cars, do a few small things, and I just followed along little bits and pieces over the years. But yeah, that's how it started. Learning to drive on roads, loose surface roads, and slippery roads is something that I have enjoyed my whole life since the first day I started driving. So.
So what was your first experience driving on a road like that? I know we talked the other day and you told me that story. It was really cool, but tell us again about how your first experience with that. I think it was maybe your brother or somebody had a Subaru and you were out on
Oh
one of the.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was my first experience with a Subaru.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
that's a little bit different. One of my first experiences on the slippery road was with an American Chevrolet station wagon that seemed to slide off the road in some washboard, and I was like, "What happened?" So that was the first one. But no, the time my first real experience with Subaru was in 1978, and my brother Steve bought a Subaru, would have been, I believe it was a GL wagon. They had a New England brand name for it, Yami Yagi wagon. It was metallic blue with white steel spoked wheels, and a ram's head on the side with some graphics. It was cool, really cool.
Yeah.
And we drove that down by our local airport here with 6 or 8 inches of snow on the road, and he was doing 55 miles an hour. And it was at that time it was unheard of. And then the thing had traction and speed, and it was just like we weren't crazy. It was very stable. It was safe. It was a straight road. But for a little tiny car to do that was amazing. So yeah, that grabbed me right there too.
Yeah, that
So
all-wheel drive is pretty incredible.
oh yeah, that car got a lot of use, and you bought it brand new. It was like, whoa, that was pretty neat. Very sharp, very sharp.
Yeah, so getting interested in rallying, what was your, I guess, first career experience getting into rally, like driving for a team?
Well, I didn't do very much driving in my life. I drove a few cars for myself.
Okay.
I co-drove for many different people, or for a number of different people over many years. I could say that. So my background prior to forming Vermont SportsCar was in the sports car area, and sports car restoration particularly. And so the place that I worked at was Tivy's Autocraft in Richmond, Vermont. And we worked on historic cars, sports cars, Jags, some very nice cars. And once a year, John Buffum would put on a rally in the winter called a mini cannonball. And so that rally was it was basically a very brisk TSD rally, and it would be typically in February and or January and February, and we would drive through the night, starting at like 8 o'clock at night and ending like at 6 or 7 in the morning, and you would drive the back roads of Vermont and New Hampshire. So that was a rally that was only once a year. And while I was working for Tivy, we would do that rally. So I would co-drive for him. And I can remember the very first time I did it, that in the morning when you finally go to sleep, uh, it felt like I was still in the car, and the car was still sliding around. And it
Yeah.
was such a unique feeling. It was just, it's like sea legs or something like that, just carried on with you. And I would get excited to do that rally once a year. In the end, so I'm talking, this is 1982 or 83. And we got the opportunity to helped John Buffum with one of his, or with the first Quattro that came. We helped to set the suspension up when it arrived from Germany. And then John offered to take Tivy for a ride. And Tivy said, well, why don't you take the kid for a ride, which was me.
Nice.
And I got in John's, it was brand new to him, the Michel Mouton, I believe it was an A1 Quattro. And we went down the road, and here's a car with four-wheel drive and off-road tires, and it could light every wheel up on the car. And it was another shocking experience. And a couple of things like that, I just decided this is the direction I wanted to go. And I was a little bit tired of trying to make cars perfect. I really appreciated that, but I wanted to see them used for everything they could get used for. Taking them to car show was not always my thing. Standing around and
Yeah.
talking about cars. I was 25 years old. I wanted to see them, wrung out,
Yeah, see their
used.
capabilities.
Yeah, exactly. So I was very fortunate over the years to be able to give John a hand. I was never really an employee, but I helped him to go and do some events out west, and some of the WRC rounds out west, and just started slowly in the rally business doing that stuff. Eventually, I formed my own business, and I over a period of years I took it from doing restorations to more motorsports, and I hope I made a name for myself bringing high quality fit and finish to the sport of rally. I
Yeah.
was a fabricator and did roll cages and things like that, and slowly chipped away at it and created a business over many years.
Yeah. So when
So
did you kind of start getting more heavily into the rally side and out of restoration so much?
uh, it got very serious in, I would say, 92 or 93. And there was, I'm trying to remember the year exactly, but Tim O'Neill started rallying, and I'm going to guess that was 1987. And we both had Volkswagens at the time, and he was serious. He was driving a Group A car, and I had an 8 valve, just a regular car. I was basically fooling around. Did a lot of work on other people's rally cars, and at one time I have to try to remember the what the year was, but Subaru of America put out an award called the Pride and Professionalism Award, and you could only win it once, and I built a car for a customer, and I was determined to win this award the next year when it first came out.
Nice.
And yeah, I did. We won it
Oh, that's
the first
cool.
time. So yeah, that was something. It was a Mitsubishi that I
Okay.
built, but Subaru gave us the award. So
Oh,
I
that's
think the
cool.
award was given out at Rim of the World, and I'm going to guess it was 91 or 92 that we did that.
Okay.
So it was, yeah.
So you talked earlier about co-driving for a few different people. How did you get, like, I guess your schooling into co-driving and learn how to do that? Because, back then, I don't think Rhiannon and Alex had their co-driving school yet.
No, no. It was so part of that was you're an onboard mechanic too, right? So although you might be able to read a route book, you're also there to fix a few things if there's an issue or an accident.
Yeah.
So there was a double benefit for me to join in the car. When I started co-driving, we didn't have any pace notes in the U.S. It was a route book. So basically, route book, tulip instructions. They're very generic. They're not coming as fast as a pace book. There's some distance between the turns, and it's a general guide of what the road is in front of you.
Yeah.
So the level of co-driver that I was never at the level of these people today. I did it with pace notes a few times, and just more as an experiment and have fun. But I couldn't do what these folks do today. It was amazing. So I built a few cars for people, and it was my business. I was full time, and it was easier to take me than to take somebody else. So thankfully, I had drivers that were very good friends of mine that trusted me that we were going to learn the sport together, and that's exactly what we did. So there was some rough times on the driving side, and certainly some rough times on the co-driving side.
Yeah.
So it was good. We got through it. It was one of the most fun experiences of my life. It's really, really good. In co-driving, there's a certain time where um, you're in a car, and you're trying to help the driver the best way you can with a description of the road, or accuracy of the notes, or when they're coming, and you can actually feel the car. You're going quicker than the driver could by himself, and
Yeah.
it might only be, today's day. Okay, it's whole roads and whole rallies. In our time, it was a section of road and a few corners. But
Yeah.
it's a really good feeling when that happens. It's pretty cool, very enjoyable.
Yeah, because that
Yeah.
that was the next question I was going to ask is how the rally stages differed from back then to now. Because with the co-drivers now, everything is very precise, and they go through the courses a couple of times to check over their pace notes and everything. And I'm guessing, I mean, where they're driving very fast, and they do have more corners, and the courses are longer. So how different was it back then?
Yeah, I actually think depending on the rally, and I can't tell you, exactly, but a lot of the roads would have been the same roads we used years before.
Okay.
So in different rallies and or sections there of those roads. So yeah, we didn't get a chance to practice them. We couldn't see the road prior to it. So you would get in the car, and you would start down the road, and you would get into a rhythm, but basically the driver was taking the limited information you could give him, and he was reading the road. He was driving the car himself completely,
Yeah.
and he or she, I'm sorry, was driving the car the best they could. So there was a huge amount of trust factor on both sides, which there is today. Now you'll see the cars today. I think they're going at quite a lot higher speeds,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, I believe there's less chance of an accident. But when there is one, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So uh, yeah, it's different. I think it's completely different. They rely on the co-drivers heavily. It is a serious team, so they do an awful lot for the performance of the car. They did it in the past, and they still do today.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're in your early days of getting interested in rally and starting to actually be a co-driver and, work on the cars and all your involvement with it, and you were able to work alongside and work for John Buffum, were there other drivers that you kind of looked up to and hoped that you could have met? And being where you have, or getting into it and where you're at now and being able to travel around and do some events, were you able to meet some of those drivers over the course of the years?
I did. There was an opportunity years ago. I got to co-drive for Stig Blomqvist in the United States, and Stig was a world champion driving for Audi, and so those opportunities don't come around very often, and I was in a unique position to do that. I have met quite a number of WRC drivers over the years, never co-driving for them, but in either they would drive a car for us, or we would be at a rally together, and I would meet them and be able to gain some experience from that time with them. So yeah, I was very lucky. I saw a whole bunch of unique stuff,
Yeah,
and
that's
one of the events I got to do was I co-drove in the 1994 Hong Kong to Beijing rally,
oh nice.
and yeah, it was pretty amazing. So uh, flying over to China in the mid 90s, it's not like it is today. It was very odd. Um, at one point, I was asked to remove the American flag from the side of the car when we
Wow.
were crossing the border from Hong Kong into China, and I refused to do that. We weren't going to do that.
Yeah.
I was outside the car, and every time the car stopped, a crowd of people would form. There's so many people over there, and a crowd of people would form, and from the crowd, somebody reaches out and touches your hair, and I got a little weird, and didn't happen too often. It happened a few times, but I asked them what was going on, and the driver, who was Taiwanese, said they've never seen anybody with blonde hair before.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh
pretty
wow.
amazing. And we were in rural China. I mean, definitely not the main road for sure. So,
Yeah.
but I enjoyed 3 weeks in China and had an adventure of a lifetime. Was I think the only third American ever to do that. So it's pretty exciting. Met a lot of folks from Pro Drive and from Mitsubishi, and made some lifelong friends over there. That's a long time ago now.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty incredible. That's I mean, that
Yeah.
is definitely an opportunity of a lifetime, and getting to be somewhat of a rarity over there with some blonde hair.
Yeah, I don't think that was the best part, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was crazy. You'd come out of the woods and you pull into a hotel, and it's just a mob of people, and they're just looking at these strange cars. It was really unique. People wouldn't see that. But when I was going over there, and you're flying in on a 747, it was the time the airport's not the new airport, but you're going down, and literally it went right down between apartment buildings, and you could see the clothes drying out on the lines of these apartment buildings right off the
Wow.
wingtip of the plane. It's pretty shocking. That was cool.
Yeah. So what are some other places you've been to that you've been fortunate enough to travel to?
In 2006 and seven or seven, eight, we were allowed, Subaru of America allowed us and supported us to do the production world championship. So we got to a number of places then. We went to Argentina, which was really nice,
Nice.
and did a rally down there. Mexico, we've been there several times. We went to New Zealand, and we actually stayed behind there and had a little bit of a vacation at the same time. So that was pretty unique. But
Yeah.
in the business side of motorsports, I've been to a lot of places, not always involved in a rally, but trying to find the right parts for the rally team itself. I got to travel to Kuala Lumpur one time to buy gearboxes for a rally for our rally team.
Wow.
So this is pre-Subaru days, but yeah, got to go out there because it was a very rare parts, and there just happened to be some extras over there. So
Nice.
you get out on a plane and you go.
Yeah.
So
So how does the business side of running Vermont Sports Car compare to, I guess, the fun side of it?
well, today it's a lot bigger than it used to be. So the running of it is much more focused now than it used to be. Before it was a small team, literally one or two cars, a full-time staff of maybe 12 or 14 people. And there wasn't a lot of marketing behind it. There was your focus on racing and the results, right?
Yeah.
And getting to the event, being the correct ambassador for the brand and the sport, and just making all the connections and trying to do a good job. Today, this is a serious machine. So I'm only a very small piece of a pretty big machine. I have a management team now,
Yeah.
and there's a full marketing side and marketing people, and our messaging for Subaru is much different than it used to be. It's not just about the event. It's this is really part of the brand and the way we represent the brand and provide excitement to the brand or passion of just being related to Subaru. It's a much bigger thing than I ever expected. So it's thankfully there was a time it wasn't a lot of fun. I can tell you that, but it's getting much more fun now because
Yeah.
you go through growing phases, and today you can look back and you can enjoy the activities that are happening right now instead of struggling through those activities. Like, okay, we just need to make sure everybody gets through the rally correctly and safely and get on home. Now I'm in a position where I actually can interact with people at an event if I go. I don't always go to every event. There's just too many to do. But I could spend the time there and engage with people and enjoy it again. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So what were some of the biggest challenges in the early days of Vermont Sports Car and the rally team with Subaru?
Well, certainly funding was very difficult. But I was pre Subaru. It's always difficult. Motorsports is hugely expensive, and as right now, as you see, everything else in the world goes up. It just costs a lot of money to do what we do.
Yeah.
When Vermont Sports Car first started, uh, it was very much under the radar. And one guy would drive to the event, say it was California or Seattle. Um, one person would drive to the event in 3 days with a map book and $1,000 in cash, and that's what you did, and that was normal. And 1,000 miles a day, that's a challenge. And at the time, it was under the radar, barely legal to do it. You can't do that today. So the challenges for me are certainly the rate of growth with the company. We have CDL drivers now. We have tractor trailer trucks. We have custom made equipment to get around the country, and managing that while trying to have some budget constraint to protect Subaru, it's a challenge. There's certain years that it's very difficult for them and very difficult for us to put it all together. We all want to capitalize on all the activities that we have, but it's not it's not a home run. It takes a real team effort to pull it off. So that's the challenge. It's the balance.
Yeah.
This year, just right now, like literally next week, we're sending two cars to Goodwood in England.
Oh yeah.
One of the cars is coming back to do some filming in Florida immediately after. We've got a rally this weekend in Oregon, and it's just fast paced, very fast paced. Pretty
As fast
amazing
as the
stuff.
cars.
Yeah. Yeah, some days, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. But the rate of growth has been a challenge. We're 70 people now, the company,
Yeah.
and it literally started with two of us. So it's been a wild ride, and I'm learning every day that I do it. So
Yeah, that's good. So
I
you
enjoy it.
talked about, challenges early on were funding. So where did the funding come from early on?
Uh, in the very early days, I had drivers that had their own money. So I would build a car. They'd either rent it from me or it'd be their car. And if there was an accident, they were responsible to pay for the accident.
Yeah.
They provided the hotel rooms and the labor and all of that. So that's how we very first started. I never had any money to do my own racing, so I wasn't paying for anybody else's stuff. And that's how it started. And when we got the relationship with Subaru, we provide a budget, and we try to stay within that budget, and go and do the job for them. It's similar. It's a customer just like anybody else. Today, there's so much activity. We spend a lot of time talking with each other, Subaru of America and my team, about we have a very large menu of things we want to do and what can we really do,
Yeah.
with the budget available.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah, the customers paid for it in the beginning. We've through the years, other than the manufacturer, the sponsorship has been, fairly small.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So when you started getting into doing rally with Subaru Motorsports, or I guess Subaru Rally Team USA early on with
yeah.
Vermont SportsCar, like how did that relationship start to form and come about?
In I believe it was. I'm going to say it was 2000. Jeff Walters, who I believe now is senior vice president of sales at Subaru, like in the very top group of management down there. He visited a rally STPR in Pennsylvania, and I had two cars that were running there. They were branded the same. They looked good, and I had a new service van. And rallying is a very small community, and the rumor was somebody was going to come and visit. And when Jeff Walters came into my service truck, I basically held him in there and explained to him what I thought of the sport and the passion and the excitement, and what was happening at that time, what was happening in America.
Yeah.
And the rumor was the WRX was going to come to the United States, and it was really my opportunity to have somebody who really hadn't studied rallying too much, my one shot to say, look, this fits with the youth of America and the thrill seekers and the folks that are outdoors and all of that. And I've said it many times, but our fans are the mountain bike and Gore-Tex crowd, and they haven't been around forever. They are now. We're a number of years down the road. It
Yeah.
seems
Yeah.
common to people your age, but it was new in my day. And that group of people have really done a lot for us. So anyway, Jeff came in and we sort of hit it off. We got along well that day, and I was invited down to Subaru of America to talk about rallying after that. And we were preparing, to put in a, request for support and to go rallying. And Subaru of America turned to their factory team at the time, ProDrive, to run the operation in the U.S.
Okay.
But yep, extremely thankful. I'm extremely thankful that Subaru of America didn't forget our effort and asked us to be the home base for ProDrive in the United States. So
Nice.
Vermont SportsCar provided half of the technicians, the building to work in to reprep the cars, and the trucks and trailers. We managed all of that. So we didn't actually run the program, but we were embedded with them, and we did the logistics. We did a whole bunch of things for the next season. We won the championship in 2001.
Okay.
With ProDrive. Yeah.
So ProDrive was like your first partner in all of that.
Yes, at a manufacturer's level. Yes.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, the facility that you were working in, is that the facility that you started off in before you moved to this awesome new facility you have now?
Yes, there's actually one move between that, but yes, the very first place that I was, actually, the very first place when I started my company, it was actually in a bowling center. There was 4 unused lanes at the side of the bowling center, so I would do restorations there in the evenings and at night, and listen to the bowling balls and pins,
Wow.
next to they were behind the wall, but it's
Yeah.
still pretty loud, and I would do that till 2 in the morning. But yeah, that was the first place. And with the same gentleman, Dick Corley, he built a warehouse next door, and I went into the warehouse, and I was there for 16 years in the warehouse, and that's where ProDrive was when they came to the U.S. for the first year. That's where they were. Yeah.
Okay. So when you first started getting into rally with Subaru, they were using the WRXs?
No, the very first part, they were using GC8 cars.
Okay.
So the very first year, 2001, they were GC8s. They had WRXs in Europe, but not in the US. We had
Okay.
2.5 RS. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we did get uh, uh, Group N WRX partway through that year. It came.
And
Yeah.
these were the hatchbacks?
They were not. They were a sedan, bug-eye sedan.
Okay, gotcha. Because
Yeah.
I'm still learning about rally. I mean, my
Yeah.
exposure to it is just what I see on Instagram from Subaru Motorsports USA, a little bit from
Yeah.
Vermont SportsCar, and watching, Subaru Launch Control. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I still have a lot to learn, and but I think it's really good because I'm kind of coming into this fresh. So there's like a lot that I don't know about the cars from the early days. I mean, I know what you're using now, but so it's
Yeah.
interesting for me to kind of find out what the progression is. So can you kind of, for other people that may not know as well, can you kind of talk about the progression of the cars over the years with Subaru?
Uh, I can do my best. I'm not gonna guarantee the accuracy.
No, that's fine.
There's been a lot of Subaru cars in my life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, in the first event that we did, the cars were brought over from ProDrive, and they were GC8 cars. So they were Group N GC8 cars, and
Okay.
it would have been our 2.5 RS, but with a turbo engine. Um, Soon after that, we got the bug eye, and we used that. That was a sedan. In the United States, you would have either had a wagon or a sedan, and we had the sedan.
Okay.
They provided one Group N car, and it wasn't shortly after that there was a car that was, similar look, except for it was a WRC car underneath. And altered for the U.S. champion. So it was a very high level car for the American Championship, extremely high level. And that car was new. It was not what they were using in Europe exactly. So we did have a few issues with that in the U.S. And the roads here were some of them were much faster, top speed wise, than in the World Championship. So we did have to work with the car a little bit to get it to perform there, but. there was a break with us and Subaru in 2002. ProDrive moved to Dearborn, Michigan, and asked Vermont SportsCar if we wanted to close up shop and go to Michigan.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, yeah, join the forces over there. And I thought about it long and hard. I went to Michigan and I looked at the price of fuel and milk and meat and housing and all that stuff. And I politely declined and I stayed in Vermont. And Vermonters are pretty independent.
Yeah.
And Subaru was very, very nice to us. They kept the lease of all the vehicles and took everything into Michigan. And I was paid, and we're all still friends. We through all of this we've remained friends, whether it's ProDrive or Subaru or any of us. But I stayed. I was independent in 2003. Sorry, 2002. And in 2003, we were asked to support another team with the Mitsubishi project. We did that. And then in 2004, Subaru of America called us up. They had pulled out of American rallying
Oh, wow.
at that time. Yep, they had stopped for a year. They took a break. And in 2004, they asked me if I would have a part support program for them. ProDrive had gone back to England. I had my equipment back. They asked if I would do a part support program for all the Subaru drivers in the U.S., and I agreed, sure. But there was only one stipulation. I wanted to be able to put a trailer on the back and a rally car on the back, and no cost to me, and I got to haul it to the event. So I would sell their parts and service the car at the same time. And Subaru of America agreed. That sounds like a pretty fair deal.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell him it was Travis Pastrana.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So Travis drove for us in a snowdrift that year as a private guy, as an experiment, and he hated the cold weather. And I think we did 4 rallies together that year,
Okay.
just to see how it would go. But it was really good. The end of 2003 was a really strange year. So we had David Higgins as a driver for us, driving for another brand, and we invited Travis Pastrana to come for a rally school. Actually, the story's longer than that if you have time.
Yeah.
I wanted to put a car display on in Colorado Springs with a different. We had a relationship with a manufacturer, and we wanted to make something exciting about it. So Chris Yandel, who's my CMO, he put together a deal where we were going to have a freestyle motocross team jump over our cars and display at Pikes Peak,
Oh,
at
nice.
in the center of Colorado Springs. And there was a big party sort of atmosphere, and the town was doing it. We were just one small piece of it, right? And so we got Carrie Hart and the Metal Militia to come out and jump over our cars.
Nice.
And the bill for the freestyle jump expedition was $15,000.
Wow.
And I didn't have it.
Oh, man.
So we agreed to do it for $7,500, and then I was going to give him a rally school. I negotiated with Tim O'Neill, and we got some space over there at his school, and we were going to give him a rally school. So we agreed with it. And came time to first off, the display went great. It was wild. It was just like freestyle motocross at the time was pretty new, and the fans loved it. And here they are jumping over rally cars. It was just looked great. Anyway,
Yeah.
We had time to go to the rally school, and Carrie Hart avoids in a stunt a few days before or whatever. I don't know exactly, but he avoids another rider who had an accident, and he has to bail off his bike. And I believe that he broke both of his legs.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Wow.
and we owe him a school. The school's scheduled and all of this. And then they said, "Oh, we're going to send somebody else. We'll send another driver." And I was like, "No, I'm not. We're not taking another driver. I don't know what you're doing, And literally we're headed over there, and the driver, they said it's Travis Pastrana, and Chris Yandel has to explain to me Travis's background and what he does, and he's actually driven a rally car in England, and as
Yeah.
a test and things like that. Yeah, so we went to the school. That's where I met Travis for the first time. Was at a rally school.
That's cool.
We hired David Higgins as the instructor, and so I don't have a job. David Higgins is out of a job, right? He was our factory driver for this other manufacturer, and
Yeah.
that program now stopped. And we're all trying to figure out, hey, what are we going to do next year? And David Higgins goes for a ride with Travis, his first ride with Travis. David takes Travis for a little ride, and then they switch, and Travis takes David for a little ride. And literally, David Higgins gets out of the car and he motions for me to come over with his finger. He says, "Hey, come over here." I go over and speak to him, and he says, "Lance, if you're going to spend your own money on rallying, spend it on him."
Wow.
And to me, that is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And David Higgins and I are very close friends, and I trust him, and he trusts me. We've done so many races together and events, things together over the years, and here he is saying, "You know what? Take the bet on Travis. He can drive. He'll be fine."
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, that solidified the legacy of Vermont SportsCar, David Higgins, and Travis Pastrana forever. That's
That
just we were done right then. You could have just closed the book.
Wow, that's such a cool
Nobody
story.
does that. Yeah, nobody does that. Come on, we're
Yeah.
all fighting for a seat.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
Man,
that was kind of cool.
that is cool.
Yeah.
So that was the start of Travis Pastrana driving for Subaru, huh?
Yes. First for Vermont SportsCar, and then
Yeah.
eventually, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good.
That is really cool.
Yeah, amazing day in my life.
So when did you kind of start getting into now having Subaru as the team that you were building cars for and putting together these see, and I'm not even really sure what kind of question to ask, because I don't know how it all goes, but I know that, you have a relationship with Subaru now and, it started at some point.
Yeah, Subaru Rally Team USA was restarted in 2005.
Okay.
That's when they turned the switch on. Now, the next phase for me, the dates are a little bit confusing. I don't know if it was the end of '04 or the beginning of '05, but we went to, I believe it was Colorado Cog Rally, and I think our Subaru was blue at the time. It had some Red Bull on it, and it certainly looked like a factory car,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't a factory car.
Yeah.
And that's the accident that Travis had, the famous accident where he clips a culvert and the car rolls about 7 times,
Wow.
and yeah, it was bad. So I was there selling parts, and I had like I said, the rally car on the back. So it was a shoestring effort, and Travis rolls the car. We were very lucky that they had onboard video from behind the seat,
Mm-hmm.
from the roof of the car, and they actually got the video of the car coming straight down the road. And
Wow.
and so these three pieces of video survived, and it is, I don't have it, if you haven't seen it, you ought to watch it. It's shocking.
Yeah.
And the car blows apart, as it should do. And Travis asked the co-driver, um, are you okay? Are you alive? That's what he said
Yeah.
as they're rolling. And at the end of it, he says, "Yes, I'm fine." He's pissed off. "Yes, I'm fine," or something like that. And Travis, the car's still on its side, and he goes, "Woohoo! That was a hell of a ride," and with more excitement than that. And here's Travis, crashed a dirt bike, gets hurt, so he's just had a major accident. He's not hurt at all. He's found something new in life. And
Yeah.
when he said that, that resonated for forever. That went a long way. And at the end of it, God's honest truth, well, there was no money left. That was all the money I had was in that car.
Wow.
And when he wrecked that car, we were done. It was finished. And when they showed us all the video, I said to him, That car cost $175,000 back then. And when they showed me the videos all lined up and they put them together, I said it was the best 175,000 we ever spent. And it literally wasn't 2 weeks later the phone rang. Subaru of America, we want you to keep going. We want to
Oh,
keep this back together, piece it back together, and keep going with it.
that's
So that
awesome.
was pretty darn amazing. Yeah, the peaks and valley of motorsport. So yeah.
Yeah, you obviously had something there that they resonated with and that they appreciated and enjoyed, you know?
Yeah. Uh, Travis was very good at conveying the excitement of what we were doing. And previous to that, it was really hard. If you watch rallying at all, there's a lot of European drivers at the time. They're extremely dry. They're exciting. Yep, fastest in the world, right down that road. How'd you do? Oh, I did a pretty good job. Where Travis would be screaming like, "Wow, very exciting,"
Yeah.
and he was able to say that and get that out there and not try. It's honest. It really comes out honest.
Oh
You
yeah, I
know.
mean, you can just see him now, you know, the excitement that he has for this sport and for what he does and not just for the sport, but for the fans, you know. I mean, he's such a
Absolutely.
I mean, I've never met him, of course, but I've heard so many people that have met him and then you can just see
Yeah.
through, you know, all the videos and everything that he's just a very genuine guy. He cares about everybody else and he enjoys putting on a good show and he enjoys what he does for a living.
Yes. He genuinely considers himself extremely lucky to be in the position that he's in, and he doesn't take 1 minute of it for granted.
Yeah.
So he is the real deal, 100%.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah.
So then what was the earlier days of now starting to have Subaru with Vermont Sports Car and starting to get into more rally events after that accident? Because they said keep going.
Yeah, the next year or later in that year, when they restarted in 2005, um, Travis was just moving from Puma shoes to DC shoes, and this was a few months later. And he was meeting with Ken Block, and uh, God's honest truth, the phone rings, and they're in the office getting ready to sign a contract. And Travis says, "Lance, I would like you to meet this guy, Ken Block, DC Shoes. He'd like to drive a rally car. And can you help him out?" Hands the phone over. I talked to him for 5 minutes. And remember, I have no clue who Ken Block is, no clue on who DC Shoes are, nothing like that. I
Yeah.
talked to him for 2 minutes. I said, "Yeah, we can have a call in a couple of days or whatever, and we'll come up with a plan and we'll get you in a car." "Great, Lance. Thank you very much." Phone call's over. And,
Wow.
3 weeks later, I think I flew out to meet him. Sorry, Chris Yandel flew out to meet him in Park City, Utah, and I drove the car, a brand new WRX street car, directly out to him. Put some good suspension on it and some good wheels, and delivered it to his house. I said,
Nice.
"If you're going to be a rally driver, you better start driving one of these right now.
That's so cool.
This is your test car." Yeah, we sat down, we played video games, we talked all night long about rallying, what we were going to do, and all that stuff. And it's crazy, just crazy how it all happened. So in that year, at some point, that was Subaru Rally Team USA restarting, and Ken was a privately funded driver that year with the team.
Okay.
Then I believe it was the next year that they actually made both cars blue, or one was blue and black, and Travis's was blue, and I think Ken's was blue and black. But uh, that was like a transition into a full factory effort at that time. So
Okay.
it
Yeah.
was pretty good. And we did that for a number of years after that. So I'm going to lose details here. I'm sorry, Chris Yandel's not sitting next to me to tell me exactly what date and what time. He's really good at that.
Yeah, no. So what was Ken Block doing before he started coming to drive?
He was running his company, so he was designing shoes and marketing before DC and snowboarding and enjoying a different kind of a life before the motorsports.
And he hadn't
So that
driven?
he hadn't driven. He had a GTI on the street, and I think he did a few things like that. I think he spent time with motocross. He did that, but there was no formal race driving prior to this, as far as I remember.
Okay.
But before his rally days, yeah.
So how did they end up I guess like proving themselves, coming from action sports, and now, you had David Higgins saying this is the guy about Travis Pastrana.
Yeah.
Then you have a very brief phone call with Ken Block. I'm like, hey, let's put this guy in a car. How did they prove themselves as rally drivers from that point on?
Well, certainly the first year, or maybe it was more than 1 year, Ken was paying his own way. So he proved it with his own results and his own investment.
Yeah.
Travis, he did a number of rounds with us as a private driver before Subaru came in, but we could see the speed right off the bat. It took, honestly, Ken a little bit longer. He's a little bit older and probably not living life on the edge as much as Travis was in day-to-day stuff,
Yeah.
But it's really hand and eye coordination and the feel, their feeling of what the car is doing and the conditions and all of that. So it does transition from other sports. It can transition and actually help you.
Yeah.
So it was pretty, I wouldn't say it was easy to see, but, it was worth believing in. Look at today, Brandon Semenuk, the drive that guy does. He had a number of years in a rally car, not a rally car like ours,
Yeah.
but the way he stepped it up recently over the last 2 years is just mind blowing. And if you ever watched any of his videos riding a mountain bike on downhill, the guy is crazy. He
Yeah.
absolutely not right. And now he's transitioned it into driving a rally car. So there's no disputing one sport can help the other. Sure.
Yeah. No, that's a very, very good point.
I know a lot of people that can drive cars that can't ride a mountain bike.
Yeah. Yeah. There was, I guess, maybe some challenges kind of early on that Vermont Sports Car had with X Games and Global RallyCross. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. The X Games for us in the beginning was an amazing time. One of the X Games, I think it was 2006, we swept the podium.
Wow.
It was the biggest for us, right? The biggest motorsport event in our careers, on ABC, on live TV, all of these things. And we go 1, 2, 3. And I knew it at the time, this was never going to happen again. Just the craziness of it all. And these were really standard rally cars. There was nothing trick about them. It was a rally car. And at the time, they actually had rally stages in the X Games. So when it went, I think we did it. We never swept the podium again. Travis did get a X Games gold medal in 2007, I think, or 8. But it was never at that level. Now, the years follow, we did struggle with performance because all these other cars were coming up and they were, more powerful and coming from Europe and things like that. And that became a challenge real fast.
Yeah.
So it was tough to keep up with what our cars were basically modified Group N cars, and these other ones are coming in, much higher horsepower and more developed cars than we had in the U.S. And it's the same with Rallycross. When Rally America had Rallycross the first time? I'm not sure. The way it was sold to us, the sport was sold to us, was we were going to do Rallycross with rally cars, and it wasn't going to be very expensive, and everything everything would be okay. And we're just going to go out and try this new form of sport. Well, we arrived with cars that had steel bodies. And our first event was down in New Jersey. And all these European cars came in, and they're all composite and, higher horsepower, bigger restrictors and all that.
Yeah.
And literally at the end of the first event, it looked like I had 3 raisins sitting in the parking lot. They were all beat up and
Wow.
smoking. And I was just like, this is not what we talked about at all. And I knew right then this is going to be hugely expensive and very difficult. And we went that year. We spent a lot of time and money fixing bodywork on cars till we transitioned to a composite body where they actually flex and bounce back.
Yeah.
You see NASCAR today; they're enjoying that today. It's their first year with that stuff.
Yeah. So what kind of like research did y'all end up having to do in order to develop a car that was more suited for rallycross?
Well, once we knew we were going to stay doing rallycross, I basically I flew to Europe. I went to meet the people that had built the last 3 or 4 European championship winning cars. Ingeborg Gunnarsson. I went over there. I made an agreement with them. We sent them a brand new body shell, and I said, "Build me a rallycross car."
Nice.
And I went back and worked on rally cars.
Wow.
And we worked with them heavily, and we learned from them a lot. And so he built us an FIA legal rallycross car, and we came home and we learned from it and developed it for the U.S. So we were on a very difficult timeline, so we needed a shortcut. Excuse me, and I'm very thankful they helped us. They were really good. I mean, you walk into a guy's shop and he wants to teach you everything he's ever learned about rallycross. He's been doing it for 20 years. Yeah, they were super nice to us.
Yeah, that's really good
So,
because then that was like your springboard into developing what you have now for rallycross.
yep, that's correct. So, we learned a lot from them, and we actually, um, it went from those things back in the day were more of a national level car, and then it went to a world level car with manufacturers. So it was like we needed like 2 or 3 springboards to make it all happen. So it took us a few years to get it in the end, but we finally did. Uh, yeah, it was a serious engineering challenge.
Yeah.
So
So what were like the fans' reactions to getting rallycross going over here?
initially, it was cold, I would say.
Yeah.
It was very nice that the fans didn't have to travel to the woods to see us race, and we were racing in more city centers, so that was good. So we got to a bigger audience pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But the purist rally fan, well, they didn't like it. It's you're going in not circles, but you're going in, on a track, and there's bleachers and there's food here, and it's not what they wanted. They wanted to be roughing it in the woods.
Yeah.
But the excitement of the sport, certainly if you look back and like the early race that we did at Dirtfish with Dave Mira driving through their massive wooden barn there, and he destroyed the car in the race, and you know that solidified the fans towards rallycross, those types of dramatic things. So we got the audience is the same today, but back then they were split. So they've joined forces, and now our fan base is much bigger than it was before. But
Yeah.
but you did have pure rallies, and my prediction will be the same with EV. There's people that won't like EV, but give it a couple of years, and they're going to be, cheering for those cars, even though they're not exactly the same as what they had a few years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So,
that's going to be different for sure. Um,
yeah, that'll be different. Yeah.
so how have the drivers over the course of the team helped Subaru Motorsports USA get to where it is today?
Certainly, when we started with Rallycross, we brought in Sverre Isaksson, who was European Rallycross champion. So he helped us in the early days. He actually won our first rallycross event with us. Our event. He'd won many on his own, but they helped us. They helped educate us as quick as they could on rallycross. Now, recently, 2 years ago, we brought in Scott Speed. So Scott
Yeah.
Speed had 4 championships under his belt, or something like that, and proven test driver. A former Formula One driver. He knows about testing. He knows about development. A completely different approach than Travis Pastrana. More, calculated and analyzing and all of that. So, he helped raise our game as well. He would ask the difficult questions, and he would push the engineers and push the technicians, and help us um, help us get to a new level and point out things that we hadn't thought of. And oh wow, okay, let's try this. So every driver we've had has always, they want the best for the team. And Patrick Sandell was like that. Chris Atkinson was like that. David Higgins is like that. It's amazing to see what these people can do. And to be honest, I don't think we have had. Oh well, let's say this: we have had very few drivers on the team that think they know everything.
Yeah.
The vast majority of our drivers are completely open. They're willing to learn from the technicians, and they're willing to guide us with the best that they can do. So it's really a genuine team. You know what I mean? It's not. We deal with very little arrogance on our team.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And
fun.
how many drivers have you had that have done both rally and rallycross? Because I know that, Travis Pastrana does rally and rallycross, and then you've had some other drivers do both rally and rallycross. I know Bucky Lassick did a lot of rallycross. He's also done some rally, but do you usually find that a driver is going to be sticking to one, either rally or rallycross?
Well, I think like David Higgins did both. I wouldn't say he excelled at rallycross, but I also think that his time with rallycross was very limited. Patrick Sandell did both, and he was good at both. He never rallied for us, or maybe he's done one rally for us. I don't remember, but he excelled in Europe in rallycross. Was a champion over there in form, and does historic rallies and does very well. So he's had the opportunity to do both. Sperry Saxon has never, as far as I know, never done a rally. So we've had quite a few that have done both.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And then how does it work? I mean, you have these really, really good drivers that are driving for the same team, but then they're also competing too. So, I mean, how does that get managed? And I've seen some of the stuff that's happened in rallycross with the strategic moves of, hey, let's do this so that you can, get in this certain position for the next race. Uh, I,
Yep.
but I know with rallycross, it's so challenging because anything can happen. And so, with rally, it's a little bit different because you're driving against the clock. You're not there wheel to wheel with somebody else. So it's just you, the road, and the clock. But you still have drivers that drive for the same team. But it seems like with rallycross, it's a little more competition on the same team. But also, I know that everybody's there for the team and helping each other.
Yes. Um, on the very rare occasion we've had to speak up and say, can everybody please remember we're here for Subaru of America. That's our number one job.
Yeah.
So some of the decisions we make, there's not specifically team orders, but some of the strategy we do, uh, it can be biased to the result of the brand. That's what we do. But it, it it's amazing to me recently that the drivers work so well together, trying to help each other out the best way possible, whether it's a grid position or setup on the car or any of that. Certainly with rallycross and with rally, we've had drivers that are leading the championship, and this guy behind him, a teammate, maybe second in the championship. One of them has a breakdown, the other one stops to help them out.
Yeah.
Like a little bit, the championship goes up in the air. They're fighting. One of them hopefully will win, but today it's like getting everybody to the finish. So we've had those situations before where every now and then you shake your head and you're like, wow, I'm not even sure I would have done that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really good. It's really good. There's an atmosphere within the team, and this goes for the Subaru, the whole Subaru world, at least in North America. There's a very large family atmosphere, and we try to keep that. We try to keep that within the team and within the sport, to carry that on. So we don't have a lot of them doing bad things against the other guy. That's not what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So with going back to Vermont Sports Car itself, and you had this facility, and then you ended up moving into a newer, bigger facility. What was it that I guess created that need to move, and when was that move?
I think we've just started our fourth year in the building that we're in now. I had a piece of property for about 12 years before we built the building. And we had to wait for the time to be right. We wanted to do it in 2008, and thankfully I got cold feet right at the last minute, and we didn't do it, so that was good. But it was I wouldn't say it was our third try, but I've been thinking about doing it for many years.
Okay.
And I would have been disappointed had I had never done it, and now I'm very glad I did do it. So the team got much bigger very quickly. We were just out of space.
Yeah.
So we had left the first building, which was literally in the end was probably 3,500 square feet. We moved to 6,000 square feet. In the end, it was 35,000 square feet. We couldn't get any more space. Our current building is about 74,000 square feet.
Wow.
So we do in the facility, we do depending on the car and the time, we do all of our own composite work. We build all of our own body panels. We make all of our own engines. We have the components cast or machined outside, but when we bring them in, we assemble all of our own engines, gearboxes, differentials. We have a body shop. We have an electrical shop. We have a massive fabrication place. We do all the roll cages, all the chassis prep, all of that. And rebuild the cars. And upstairs, there's engineering, which is I'm gonna say today there's probably 7 engineers up there working today when I left.
Okay.
Designing next year's rally car.
Wow.
And the engines, I mean, they're flat out. There's a marketing department, graphics department. There's several people in accounting. So it's a real business. And we just couldn't do it at this level in our old facility. The facility that we have now was specifically designed for our use. It is, the home of Subaru Motorsports. So there's equal emphasis on the place being efficient and having high production capabilities for our team, but also a destination for the Subaru fan. So there's a showroom in the front. There's a little bit of a museum. There's a place where we have, T-shirts and jackets and things like that. There's a viewing bridge. You can look down over the race cars.
Oh,
there's
cool.
Plenty of glass windows. We give dedicated tours certain days and certain times of the week. Today, I think we mentioned earlier, there was a vintage sports car group that came through. Well over 100 people that toured the facility. My parking lot was full of Ferraris and Jags and Porsches and Audis, and they come to see, Subaru Motorsports. So it was pretty interesting. Very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm extremely proud of the building and the way it turned out. One of our guys who's done a lot of photography for the company, Lars Gange, he's the COO. Now he designed the building, with help from many of the staff.
Nice.
I couldn't be happier how it turned out. And the flow it goes through the building, the way it works is perfectly designed for our use. So yeah,
Now,
come and see it. It's exciting.
yeah, no, I really want to.
Yeah.
So with the growth of the team and everything that you had with the previous facility, you outgrew it. Did you build in like future proofing growth for this facility of like, hey, we could continue to grow. Let's design this facility to house some growth for the team if we continue to grow.
Uh, yes, in a manner of speaking, yes. The building is permitted for another 30,000 square feet if I wanted to put it on there.
Okay.
There is a capacity in the building. I store 6 trucks in the truck bay, so there's room for 6 tractor trailer trucks inside.
Wow.
Okay, the rally team has straight trucks with a stacker trailer, and then the rallycross team has 3 real tractor trailer trucks. So if I had to move those out, I could, and then you've just gained a huge amount of space for additional car prep or whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Now, remembering if the business is 34 years old, for 30 years in the winter, we would shovel a path to the truck that's outside to unlock it, to get the spare parts, to bring them in, let them warm up, and then fit them to the car. We don't
Wow.
have to do that today.
Oh
That's why
yeah.
all the trucks are inside.
Yeah,
So
that's got to be nice.
yeah, it's a big, big difference, efficiency and morale and all that. But we did it for many, many years. And the trucks, we have a large parts room with you know uh, many dollars worth of parts for us, and each truck is a warehouse. So there's a much easier access than it used to be.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So why stay in Vermont when you did this move and not maybe I think maybe possibly there might be more resources in like LA or Indianapolis or North Carolina. So why stay in Vermont? Like what are the benefits of staying there?
Uh, First off, Vermont gives you a very, very unique lifestyle that none of those other places can give you. I'm sorry. In my time,
Hmm.
I've been lucky enough to travel the world. I've traveled the United States extensively, and every time the plane lands in Burlington, I just get a big smile on my face. This is unique here, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I when I went to build the building, I researched all of those places and I made a number of trips out. I think I visited Charlotte, uh, North Carolina, about 4 times. I got Borset, who was one of our drivers too in X Games. He got me some behind the scenes tours at all the NASCAR shops because
Hmm.
I was designing the building or working to get there. And I looked at it. People were so hospitable to me, and you could have bought something down there that was somewhat similar to mine. But LA's smog, traffic, tons of people.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, okay, you got IndyCar and the you know whatever the speedway cars are, the gravel sliding cars are there. Charlotte, you got NASCAR and a few other oval track things. And in Vermont, none of those other places are known for rally or rallycross. And I thought about, well, we have FedEx and UPS, right? So they can all deliver.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, I have a very nice relationship with Subaru of America. Why would I want to go down there to a world where there was many bigger businesses than mine looking for motorsports jobs? Why would I go to the Wolf's Den when I'm a direct 45-minute flight from Philadelphia, where Subaru's located in Camden, New Jersey now. Very close, direct flight here. They're here by 9 o'clock in the morning if they want to come up, and I can go down just as fast. So was super convenient that way. And I was born here and I love it here, so I decided to stay, and I'm glad I did. I spoke with the Toyota guys. They came to visit one time, and the guy said, "Lance, this building is beautiful. I have 3 of these for Toyota in the United States, and they build their NASCAR engines in LA. And I said, well, why would you choose LA to do that? They have TRD, they have all these other things.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing, because the competition, somebody can walk out of your building and go down the road and tell somebody your secrets. And I didn't want that, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't want that. So that's why we stayed. And then I'd have to change the name. You know, Vermont SportsCar
Very
doesn't make
true.
any sense down in July. I was too much work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and you've got something very unique there in Vermont too, and
Yeah.
something special.
When early on, when you think the WRX came out, and what is a WRX? Well, you know, in my mind, for a long time, it was a Vermont sports car. Here's a car that is made to go quickly and have spirited driving on the terrain that we have outside our door. We have 4 seasons, we have snow and ice, we have gravel roads, we have rough roads. If you're going to buy a car, you're not going to buy a Corvette. You can't use it in the winter. You're not going to buy, you can't have a Ferrari. We have potholes everywhere. No, go buy a WRX. It's just as much fun, and it kind of tied the two together. And to me, my company name made a lot more sense once we started dealing with a WRX.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like that.
Yeah. Kind of unique. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your dreams and goals for the future of Vermont Sports Car and Rally and RallyCross?
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Well, there's a transition. Okay, so Subaru of America is not going to have the SDI currently.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to solidify the WRX in the United States. It's the same car, okay? And yeah, you're going to have naysayers and all that, but our next goal is to develop the highest performing rally car in the history of Subaru.
Nice.
Because of our rules with ARA, it may not be WRC, but I can tell you that the things that we do have on it will be spectacular.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited. The guys are working really hard on that car, and it's going to be something. So I'm excited about that. We've started restarted Gymkhana. We've got a lot of exciting things coming with that. That gives us freedom we haven't had in years.
Nice.
So the Air Slayer, it was a breath of fresh air for us. That was good. I enjoyed that. I think, I'm 61 years old, and I've been doing this a long time, and I'm very excited to see the next generation take a hold of this and carry it on further. So they have a lot more ideas and a lot more technology and access to things than I had. I think we did a good job getting it here today, but I'm very excited to see young people take the company farther and the Subaru brand farther. I think this is just the beginning. You folks that are doing the off-road stuff for Subaru is amazing. The adventure stuff. We sit back there. Okay, we're rally guys, and so you meet these people, and we got a very, very narrow focus, and we're trying to get down this dirt road as fast as we can and safely in the middle of the night. And then we see you guys running around with tents and campfires and dogs, and you're doing it, and we're going so fast. We're missing so much stuff.
Yeah.
And you guys are pausing to see it and enjoy it. And I'd like to be doing some of that stuff. Just slow down a minute,
Well, get a Crosstrek then.
Yeah, I've had them. It's a great car.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, to be able to find it, to get out there and do it, I'd love to be doing some of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a Crosstrek, and it's not fast, but it's a manual, and I absolutely love it. I mean, it was, I've had like a dream car before, and I never, I had wanted a Crosstrek for years, but I never imagined that it would be what it is for me.
Yeah.
And it's been an incredible journey. just the car itself and then, its capabilities, but the people that I've met along the way through the community and then deciding to start this podcast and, now having you on. I mean, we joke about it, with other people within the community. It's like, I just bought a car. And I always like to say, but you bought the right car, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You know how they say, people say this is, the car is part of your lifestyle. Subaru is a lifestyle choice. It's a life choice. It's bigger than a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It becomes part of who you are, and the people you meet through it. It's just amazing, and it does help you to appreciate the rest of your life. And I don't know if you have been ever in a situation, how long you've had cars that you've been driving, but in the old days, you'd go out and you'd start a car in the middle of the winter and it's 20 below zero, and you go out and you have to pump it and crank it, and you just pray it starts so you can get to work. And even today, I go outside. I live in an off-grid log cabin, right? This is the house I stay in when I go to work, but my real home is an off-grid log cabin. And the one neighbor's 2.5 miles and the other one's 5.7 miles away.
Wow.
And you go out there in the dark in the middle of winter in the morning and you start your car and you go out and it just clicks over and boom. It's amazing to me. It's still amazing. And you drive down these mountain roads and it's just spectacular. My next move too, as well, is so I live my house is solar powered and has a generator. So I'm waiting for the Subaru EV car. I'm going to charge it at my house and I'm going to drive it to work, and I'm going to try to figure out how to burn race fuel the most efficiently possible, make the most power.
Yeah, there you go.
That's kind of a twist, on. Not everybody gets to do that.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Yeah, it's a nice little contrast there.
Yeah, sharp contrast, huh?
Yeah.
Great.
So for you personally, what drives your passion for rally and rallycross?
The cliche line is it's always the challenge of winning, the look on the staff's face when they achieve a goal, or the driver, when he gets the result, or the teamwork, is what drives me on. When we first started, certainly in rallycross, our car wasn't very competitive. And then over the years to make it competitive, and you see the late nights and the effort and the pain that these people go through, and then you actually achieve the goal in the end. Like last year, we were very competitive.
Yeah.
We had the top car of the field, right? And we won the championship. And to see the effort over the years that goes into, and see the enjoyment these people have on their faces, that's what drives me on. Well, I wasn't a rally driver. I always wanted to be, never really happened.
Yeah.
But when you put somebody in the car and they go for a ride in a rally car, and you're standing at my thing, I get to the door to open the door to see the look on their face, whether it's a rally or rallycross car, the look on their face the first time they experience something like that is a real adrenaline for me, and it pushes me on. Like, yes, I remember what that was like. That's just awesome,
Yeah.
So providing people with that experience is fun. The fans, getting to meet the fans, a few years later, you see the same people again. Recently, I met these guys from New York City, and I forget the name, but they drove all the way from New York City to come and watch us. And these guys are like downtown New York City Subaru Club, right?
Yeah.
Them and me were completely opposite lifestyle. And we became friends, and they're really nice guys. And they show up at events, tell me about their adventure on the road and all that. It's awesome. So, yeah, that's what does it for me.
I imagine you get to meet a lot of different people.
I do. Yeah, I do. Very enjoyable.
That's pretty cool. So here's a tough one. If you had to choose between participating in rally or rallycross moving forward, only one of the two, which would you choose and why?
Is this personal or for the team?
Well, I guess, yeah, for the team. I guess maybe personal and for the
Ooh,
team. If you had to choose, like, hey, we can only do rally or rallycross.
I think it's the same answer, actually. I hate to say it, but I'm a rally guy. Yep. Rallying is very unique. Uh, it's just in your blood. So if I was going to do anything in the world, I'd do a rally myself.
Yeah,
And then for the team, I think rallying is more ingrained in the Subaru brand.
yeah,
So if they ask me, Lance, which one we can do, only one, I would say rally.
yeah,
Uh, I would really, if I could do anything, I'd take the team up to Canada and down to Mexico and do some other, spread it out a little bit. But that's not my choice.
yeah,
But you know, I would 100% say rally. That's just
yeah.
the way it is.
That's what it started off with for the
Yeah,
team.
yeah. There's something about even today with pace notes. There's something about going over the crest of the hill when it's dark and slippery in the middle of the night, and you don't you might have seen it in the daylight, but this is totally different. And now you're flat out,
Yeah,
okay, and you're going over the crest, and there's always that, and that's it right there. That's it. That is so cool.
yeah.
Like there's a challenge there, so that's good.
So I recently had Jan Lim on, who did the documentary Between the Lines, and
Yeah.
you had some parts in there, but one of the parts that really resonated with me because it's where I found my passion in this community, but also in this podcast and being able to bring something new to the community. But it's something that I enjoy doing myself too, of course. In the documentary, you said, I thought about what I really wanted to do, and this is what I really want to do. So I came back with a new passion and a new drive and new commitment. I had already been doing it for a long time, but now it was fully solidified. There was no other option. It was calling me back. It was like, you were going to do this. So, what was it that called you back? And had you thought about leaving the sport?
Uh, yeah, I actually had left the sport. There was a time very early on in my career. Um, I had my son with me, and I think he was probably 5 or 7 at an event, and one of the drivers had an accident and passed away in the event, and
Oh, no.
that was tragic, and that shocked him to his boots,
Yeah.
and it really bothered him for a number of years. And I stopped. I was done. So I got out of the car, and I was just finished for a number of years. And then in the end, he of course got a little bit older. In the end, it was just like I have no choice but to go back. This is who I am.
Yeah.
And when I did go back, uh, it was full on. There was nothing. There was nothing else I was going to do or want to do. Would start my company literally. When I was very young, I had some family issues and got a divorce and went back to my house. I stayed at my folks' house for years while I was building my business, and I didn't do anything but try to do this. And so I was committed, and thankfully they were supportive, and they saw my commitment in doing this. And eventually, people would say today it's been successful. So that was good. Yeah, it's a I don't know. Calling is kind of a strange word, but I chose my path. There's many people in life that told me I'd never make a living at rallying. It's not possible. You can't be done. It can't be done. You have to go and choose road racing or NASCAR, and it was just not me at all. No, we're gonna go rallying. So it's
Well,
pretty good.
you proved
Yeah.
them wrong.
So far, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So I have some questions from so I have some patrons
Oh,
that help support the podcast. So this guy Jay, who goes by Audiophile on Instagram, he had this to say. 2021 was such an amazing year for Subaru Motorsports USA, Goodwood Festival of Speed, American American Rally Association Championship, Nitro Rallycross Championship, and Mount Washington Hill Climb Record Time, to name a few. It was an amazing year for Subaru Motorsports USA, and the team accomplished so many goals. What's next? What else is looming out there for that you want to accomplish for Vermont Sports Car and for Subaru Motorsports USA?
Hmm. Well, first off, we're paid to win, so there's no pressure there.
Yeah, not at all.
uh, None at all. No, I think our next Gymkhana video should be pretty wild. I think that one's going to be spectacular. So that hopefully we can raise the bar there.
Okay.
We are headed to Goodwood this month. We are bringing the next Gymkhana car to Goodwood. I'm not sure it will set the hill record. That's not what it was ever designed for, just like the Air Slayer.
Yeah.
We are also bringing a rally car to Goodwood, which I'm extremely excited about. Okay, so that we've never had a rally car on the same stage as some of these European cars. So we've had Ken with a Hyundai, and Barry McKenna over here with a Ford and all that, but never in a situation where there's such a notable stage in England.
Yeah.
So that's kind of iconic. I can't wait to see that. So that's good. The evolution of, well, it's not this year in 22, but the evolution of rallying in America, the rules are changing. So making sure we can get a grip of what the new rule set would be and have a competitive car, that's a nice challenge. And, the current rallycross car this year, because we're building a new rally car, is not getting the same level of development as we did last year. So it might be a challenge.
Okay.
And we have a very competitive car, but time moves on. So we can't do everything.
Yeah.
But our goal certainly is to do our very best to accomplish as much as we did last year.
Yeah.
So hopefully with it might not be exactly the same results, but hopefully the exposure and the awareness for the brand and the Subaru, the following increases. I was amazed, I'm regressing, but I was amazed in our challenges over rallycross over the years that our fan base grew.
Yeah.
Because they were in for the story. It wasn't just the winning, So I do expect this year to be pretty darn good compared to last year. So I'll try to make it the same.
You do have loyal fans, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is just amazing. It really is.
Yep.
With Subaru early on in the days, you'd have these guys that would buy a WRX and come to the shop and all that. And then the next thing you know, they were starting young families and they'd buy a Outback. WRX would have to go, or really 2.5 RS would have to go.
Yeah.
And maybe the WRX came out, they couldn't afford it. The Outback comes in, they have a small family. Well, these same people today are coming back to the shop recently in a brand new STI.
Yeah.
And they
nice.
still have the Outback. You know what I mean? It's just cool to see that,
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Very cool.
All right. So Chris, who goes by Chill4, who is also Jay's wife, she asks, with all the success of 2021, how do you keep the team from getting disappointed if the successes are not repeated in future seasons? And then what do you do if you don't win everything every time?
Well, the new members of the team get disappointed if they don't carry on. The seasoned members of the team have been through this before.
Yeah.
So they're used to the ups and downs. It is it's inevitable people get disappointed, and certainly morale and keeping people pointed in the right direction and trying to make sure they hold together as a team is very important. um, we are here for the challenge. That's what it is. It wouldn't be racing; it'd be winning,
Yeah.
right? We just try our best, and we have to put every effort in it. But they're the engineers would be bummed out if there wasn't a challenge, and the technicians during the rally, they'd be bummed out if there wasn't a wheel falling off every not falling off again, ripped off every now and then. They gotta
Yeah.
they gotta get in the fight.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, and what those
yeah,
technicians do at the rallies between the stages, that's incredible watching them go to work. I mean,
yeah,
you bring a car in and, it may not be all beat up, but they're pulling parts of the engine out, and replacing parts within, like a 20-minute time span or less sometimes. Like, that's just incredible. It's like some of those things, like, there's no way I would know how to do some of that stuff. I mean, of course, they're working on these cars and building them all the time. I mean, that's what they do. But
yeah,
just to see
yeah,
them get in there and pull things apart so quickly and put it back together so quickly, and then it gets out on the stage and it's still working.
yeah. Magic, huh? Just magic.
Yeah.
And then you throw and a lot of times you throw the inclement weather at them, and the nighttime and the cold and all that, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, they're
So
having to work through all of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Not Formula One.
Yeah. I have one more group of questions from this guy. He goes by Ron Crosstrek Sport 2021 Subie on Instagram, or Subie Fan on Instagram. He has three questions, so I'll ask them in succession. But what is the biggest misconception about rally and rallycross?
Boy, I don't know how to answer that. With rallying, the, the biggest misconception is, for our open class cars, that other cars in the world can't compete over here. So a lot of Europeans would stay away. And it's just been recently that you'll see, the Hyundai World Rally car and the Ford come over.
Yeah.
Our cars are very fast, but people in the years before just thought they were, head and shoulders above everything else, and they're not. They've adjusted them many times to either slow them down or speed them up for the competition around us.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the same question for rallycross.
Yeah, rallycross. Our mileage in a rallycross is much shorter than a rally, but the wear and tear and the damage on the cars is like 3 rallies.
Wow.
It is aggressive. It is hard. This year was really good for us, but in years past, the stresses we put on the cars were pretty serious. They design these big jumps. If they get it wrong, as you could see with the injury Scott Speed had,
Yeah.
that translate into damage in the cars as well. So we have to be very careful. It looks easy on TV sometimes, but it's really not. So
Yeah.
what I would say.
His next question is, how do you think electric vehicles will change or are changing racing?
Well, there's a problem with the sound.
Yeah, you're not going to get that.
You're not going to get that. So I recently went for a ride in EV rallycross car that we,
Okay.
we bought. Vermont SportsCar bought 2 EV cars, and they'll start in Linden Hill in a few weeks. Uh, it's 1,000 horsepower,
Wow.
and the grip comes on, the torque comes on instantly. It
Yeah.
will be spectacular. The noise will change. You're going to hear more gear and more tire, and obviously no engine, but the motors make some sort of a buzz sound.
Yeah.
So that changes. I think the excitement will be there, but it will be a tough sell to the general public in the beginning. I am very happy to say, at least for right now, uh, Rallycross and EV are perfectly suited to each other. It's a short sprint race with very high horsepower cars.
Yeah.
I would love nothing more than to have the Solterra as a rally car, right?
Yeah.
To try it, just to see what it does, even if it only does a few stages, or it's the recce car, or it's the course opening car, just to show people how durable it is. I'm
Hmm.
sure it's going to be a very good car. And in the WRC, they have a hybrid where they use electric power to get through their transit sections through the cities, and then they use the gasoline car engine to go down this flat out stages.
Yeah.
So they have a different approach. But I would love to see, how durable and tough the new EV Subaru is going to be. I'm looking forward to that.
What do you think about the battery longevity for doing these long rally stages?
Currently, we would have to make adjustments. So we have in the normal rally, if it's really long stages, we have or section of stages, let's say a leg, you would have a remote fuel stop. And
Okay.
so they would have to adjust the format for EV cars. The range, if they can do 200 or 400 miles, it's not going to do 200 or 400 miles flat out. It's not the way
No.
it works.
Yeah.
So that has to be thought about, whether it's a quick change battery or whether there's it only does sections of a rally to start. I think it'll take some. There'll be an evolution.
Yeah.
You know, I do think the world certainly will wake up about EV, or EV be more acceptable when we can get charging down to the same amount of time it takes you to fuel your car with a gasoline pump. You
Yeah.
know,
The rapid
that will
chargers.
be, yeah, it'll be more accepted then.
Yeah.
So,
And then
yeah.
his last question is for younger people who are thinking about careers in racing, what advice would you give them?
Uh, Certainly today, um, I would say, getting into high level motorsports without having uh, an education. I'm not an engineer, right? I have a high school education, and I had passion to do this job, and it took many many years to get here. So certainly, figuring out what area you really wanted to participate in, whether it's a technical, mechanical, or engineering. I think education, a higher level of education than I had, would serve you very, very well. There is no shortcut for hands-on experience at events or involved in motorsports. So I tell this to everybody. Um, if you can help a friend out who's racing, or you can, autocrossing or doing anything, that is really valuable. And that's
Yeah.
how most of us start today. Still, you might be in school, but at night you're working on your buddy's race car. You have to do both,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to try it. And in rallying particularly, it's a very unique group. It's a small group, but if people want to get involved in rallying, basically you go to an event, you try to help out a team, or you work for the event, and your connections you make there will carry on to other events. So you can expand it and get more experience doing it that way.
Yeah.
Servicing for somebody, or driving a truck, or whatever you got to do. That's how it works in rallying.
Yeah. That's good advice. So I don't have any other questions. Is there anything that you wanted to leave us with?
No, I think I'm good. Hopefully that comes across good to your listeners.
Yeah, yeah. There was a lot of conversation that we had, and information that I didn't have questions for. So that was really good. And I want to say thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for being a guest on the Subie and You podcast. And I really really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. So we have to tick a few people off your list eventually. I mean, I know that you can't be all motorsports, but when you want to speak to some of the drivers, you let me know.
All
We'll
right.
we'll try to make it happen.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. I appreciate that.
That'd
Yeah.
be
I
good.
mean,
Yeah.
I still have quite a good list of people out there in the community that I'd like to get on. It's because it's fun to give them an opportunity to have a voice, and to give them a place to share their experiences with Subarus and share their, their kind of their life. Because like you said, it's not just a car, it's a lifestyle, but it's also part of your life. And that is what so many people out there in the community, like myself, have discovered, is that you buy this car and then it's like you are buying into this community and buying into this lifestyle and creating a whole new life for yourself.
Yep. And then you think about, how did I do it before? You know what I mean? It's like, wow.
Yeah, I interviewed somebody last night and I asked her, I said, if you didn't buy a Subaru, have you ever thought about where your life would be right now and what you would be doing?
Yeah, exactly. You know this Chris Stapleton song? You know Chris Stapleton, country singer?
I mean, if I heard the song, I might, but
Uh,
I don't
I,
really listen to country, so
I think it's uh, what would I be doing now, right? And it's the song is about a singer that says he would be doing the same damn thing. You know, he's singing to a crowd. He's at whatever some bar on a Friday night, and he's singing. There's no other choice in life, and that's like me. You
yeah,
listen, if you find that song, listen to it. But that's me and my motorsports thing, and being with Subaru. There just there is no other option. It's just that's is it. Like, okay,
yeah. And you're
you know,
very fortunate to have found something so early in your life that you were very passionate about, that you found that passion early, first of all, and have carried it through your life. And now you're where you are because not everybody finds something so
oh
early
yeah,
on in life that they're passionate about. I mean, for me, I've been working a job for 20 years that has just been a job for me. It's like I haven't even really wanted to make it a career because I felt like there's always been something more to my life, more that I could be doing, and that there was something else out there for me. And I feel with
yep,
this podcast and this community, I finally found it.
yeah, yeah. I am. I consider myself uh, extremely lucky, and how it happened, I don't really know. I don't say it very lightly. I'm blessed with clarity, you know,
Yeah.
and it came very early on. I know many people that don't know what they want to do, and they should have 20 years ago. They still don't know what they want to do,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine going through life without that, or with that issue. Like, wow, it's so it's been so clear to me. It's caused many issues over my whole life because there wasn't an option. At least I knew there was no option.
Yeah.
You know, I'm I'm sorry, I can't go there. I have a rally to go to. Pretty
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah, no, that's awesome though. I mean, it's you are blessed. You're very fortunate to have found that. And you said
Yeah.
you don't really know how it happened, but you followed your heart.
Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah, that's good.
So,
So,
well, thank you so much for your time
okay.
again, and I really appreciate it. And I'm glad that we were able to do this. And a
Oh,
huge shout out to UG for getting me in touch with you. I really
yeah.
appreciate that.
Yep. Anything you need, you just let us know, and hopefully we meet up in person one day for a cup of coffee
Yeah, no, I would love
at
that.
an
So,
at an event. At an
yes,
event.
yes, yep, I would love that.
Okay.
All right, thank
All
you.
right. Excellent. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right.
See ya. Bye.
Wow, what a great guy. What a great conversation. Thank you so much, Lance, for taking the time to do that. I really hope we get a chance to meet sooner than later. Hopefully, at an event like you said, that would be awesome to come out to one of the rally or rallycross events and see what it's all about in person. For those of you that have been out, I'm envious because I'm sure that's such an incredible experience to get to see that in person and meet some of these amazing people that are in the motorsports world for Subaru of America. So if you are not doing so, go follow Vermont SportsCar on Instagram. Go check out their website. Go follow Subaru Motorsports USA. And also go back and listen to my episode with Bucky Lassick, Warwick Patterson, Christopher Bowes, and Rihanna Gelsomino, especially the one I did with her about Rally 101. And just go back and listen to those if you haven't or go listen to them again because, like I said earlier on, it all ties in together. So now that I've gotten Lance Smith on, who's next? What's next? This has been great. I'm so glad I get to share this with all of you. It's been an incredible journey, and I look forward to getting more people on. I have my list, like I said, and I look forward to adding more people on my list and getting more people in here to be a part of all of this and getting to share their story and their journey with their Subarus, how their Subarus have enhanced their lives, changed their lives, made their lives better. It's we're all here for this awesome, amazing car company, and I'm so thrilled and happy to be here with all of you. And I hope that over time, I get to make my way around the country and meet many of you in person, whether it's at an event or whether I just travel out just because. So thanks again for tuning in. Look for the news episode this Wednesday and more great episodes to come in the coming weeks, months, and years because this thing's just going to keep on going. And lastly, if you want to help support the efforts of the podcast, go check out patreon.com/Subie YOU podcast and come join our awesome little Patreon and Discord community and come have some fun with us. See you later and have a great week, everybody.